You know what? We don't have a clue where the Verizon Samsung Galaxy Nexus is, but that doesn't mean we can't take matters into our own hands. What's going on, guys? I'm Aaron from PhoneDoc.com, and I've got a Samsung Galaxy Nexus in the house. It may be the HSPA Plus version, the GSM version, but hey, we've got it here. And then I also have the Motorola DROID RAZR. Now this is coming to Verizon as an LTE device. We can get a pretty good feel as to what it looks like right now. It's dogfight time between the Galaxy Nexus and the Motorola DROID RAZR. Both have dual-core processors. Both have big displays. One has a true 720p HD display, but one has an 8-megapixel camera. Which one's the ultimate Android phone? Which one's going to be the must-have phone on Verizon? Well, obviously not this one because it's not on Verizon yet, but you can get a pretty good idea as to which one to buy this holiday season. Let's take a look. But first, some love to Best Buy Mobile. When you go into Best Buy Mobile, you'll walk out working. They'll help you set up your email, your web, your camera settings, and more. They hook us up with so many cool phones for use to our one-paw bandit game, and they're pretty cool people themselves at Best Buy Mobile. Let's take a look at it now. Samsung Galaxy Nexus, Motorola DROID RAZR. Which one's the one to get? We'll find out starting right now. So here they are, two hot Android handsets, and you're thinking, well, this one isn't the Verizon one just yet. Well, you're right, my friends, because Verizon has kind of gone mum when it comes to the Galaxy Nexus on their network. We don't really know when it's coming out. They said by the end of the year, but the rumors keep coming, the dates keep passing by, and we're pretty close to the end of the year when you think about it. This is the GSM Samsung Galaxy Nexus, but you can draw some comparisons between this and the Verizon version, which, you know, although it does have LTE and it's a little bit thicker, the design's going to be almost exactly the same with the exception of a little bit bigger battery. So you can draw some conclusions based on this dogfight between the Samsung Galaxy Nexus and Verizon's current champion on the Android front, the Motorola DROID RAZR. Now this one's available for $299 from Verizon, and the Galaxy Nexus is most likely going to be available for $299 as well when it lands on Verizon. You can buy a GSM one if you just can't wait. You can get it from Expansis USA. Last time I checked, it was $749.99, so it's pretty costly, and with shipping it's going to run you about $760 to $780 depending on which one you choose. But just to walk through some of the specs with you on both of these devices, you've got a 1.2 gigahertz dual-core TI OMAP processor over here, a 4.65-inch Super AMOLED display. Now this is a true HD display, so it's 1280 by 720 in terms of dimensions, in terms of pixels, and it is a pentile display. So it does utilize pentile technology, but it is a true HD display, and it joins 3 in the US that are currently HD displays. You've got the LG Nitro HD, the HTC Resound, which is also on Verizon, and the Samsung Galaxy Nexus. Now, I haven't noticed the pentile technology really in effect on this device. I haven't seen it to the extent I have on the Motorola DROID Bionic, the DROID RAZR as well, and some of these other devices. You can't really tell, and I will say the screen is absolutely beautiful on this, especially when it's at really bright volumes like it is right now. The 5-megapixel camera, so that's a little bit of a bummer that it doesn't have an 8-megapixel camera, but still, 5-megapixel shooter, 1080p HD video recording, and in the GSM version, it's packing a 1,750 milliamp hour battery. Now the LTE version, which is what Verizon will get, has a 1,850 milliamp hour battery, which adds a little bit to the thickness of the device. You got a front-facing camera over here, and here's your lock screen, just to give you a comparison on the Galaxy Nexus. Android 4.0 ice cream sandwich, and it's a stock build of ice cream sandwich as well. Then you have the DROID RAZR over here, 1.2 gigahertz dual-core TI OMAP processor as well. You've got an 8-megapixel camera on the back with 1080p HD video recording. It's a little bit better on the camera front, at least in terms of megapixels. You've got a front-facing camera, a 4.3-inch QHD Super AMOLED Advanced display with pentile technology as well over here, and then you have Android 2.3.5 with Motorola's custom user interface. It's available now for $299. Now the thing about this one, it's a non-removable battery, so you don't get any extended battery options or anything. It's a beautiful device, and it's very thin. It's 8.9 millimeters thick, if I remember right. And it's either 7.1 or 8.9. I have to go back and double check because there have been so many phones that have come out in the past couple of weeks. A very thin device. You can see non-removable battery though, but it's it's built to withstand a beating. It's got Kevlar technology on the back. It has Gorilla Glass in the front, and it's really built well. And you can see it's got a nice design to it as well. You got your volume rocker over here, power button over on the right side, your micro USB charging port, your HDMI port up top, and then over here you have a little slot for your micro SIM card slot, which for L4G LTE, and then your micro SD card slot over there. Nothing on the bottom, very svelte, thin device. Now that said, it is thin, but it's also very wide, so it makes it kind of hard to hold in the hands at times. And if you have smaller hands, you may have some issues holding it, and that may be something that kind of frustrates you. But just to give you an idea of the unlock screens on both of these, Android 2.3 here looks like that, and then of course ice cream sandwich over here, Android 4.0. over here. Now this is a beautiful device, and it's a good looking device, and it may not be as thin as the DROID RAZR, but it does have those trademark Samsung things about it. It's got a curved display, first of all, so you can see that in effect. You've got your power button over on the right side, some little prongs here for what looks like a dock or other peripherals to come in the future. You've got your 3.5mm headphone jack down here at the bottom, your micro USB charging port, you've got your camera on the back, you've got a nice texturized battery door, nothing up top. Then you got your volume rocker over here on the left side. So it's a very thin device at the very top, and then of course you get this hump down at the bottom, but it's got a nice curved feel to it, which makes it nice when you're holding it up to your ear and you're on a phone call. Really, it does enhance the overall quality of the calls, and just makes it easier to hold when you're in that long hour or 2 hour conference call, which is pretty nice. So this is a stock ice cream sandwich. It's running no carrier installed or manufacturer installed overlays. It is stock Android, and you can see here 5 home screens on ice cream sandwich. Excuse me, and you can see down here the new dock as well. Now these buttons are on-screen buttons. No more capacitive buttons on the Galaxy Nexus or on any, most likely ice cream sandwich devices that launch after today. Now obviously this is going to be upgraded to ice cream sandwich at some point, so it'll have the capacitive buttons down here at the bottom, because you can't really do anything with capacitive buttons when they're already there. So it'll have those, but most new devices will come with the on-screen buttons. And then over here you can see the menu as well. So completely new menu interface, and just to give you a comparison between the two, like I said, this is a non-Verizon version, so you don't see any installed applications or carrier installed applications. You will see on the Galaxy Nexus, on the Verizon side, most likely My Verizon Mobile, and then perhaps one other Verizon application, which I'm drawing a blank at the moment. But you can really see, if you haven't worked with Ice Cream Sandwich before and you're new to this, you can see the font smoothing looks much better on Ice Cream Sandwich. Just to bring it up close to the camera so you can see the fonts look better, and they've grouped the apps and the widgets all together here along with the Android Market link, and then you've got your buttons down here. So you can see the apps come pre-installed, typical Google stuff like Google Talk. You got People, of course, which is your contacts, Google Messenger, big G Plus integration or Google Plus integration on this device, and then you got Facebook, Google Earth, Calendar, Adobe Reader, and more. Then over here you do get some Verizon pre-installed applications. You get Amazon Kindle out of the box. You get Blockbuster. You get, let me go through here and remember, GoToMeeting, Guided Tours, IM, Let's Golf 2, Madden NFL 12, Moto Active, and Moto Print, which actually are both pretty cool features, but Moto Active requires a separate little tool that you can buy, the Moto Active unit. And then you get My Verizon Mobile, Netflix, NFL Mobile, Quick Office, Verizon Video, Video Surf, VZ Navigator, and more. Now the downside is, you get 5 home screens as well here, and they're in kind of a carousel format, so you can see they kind of spin in and out, and everything's pretty quick, with little to no lag. Now the downside to this is, in addition to not having ice cream sandwich, the real unfortunate thing is I totally forgot what I was going to say. That's pretty sad. Oh, the Verizon application. Sorry, it's been a long day, full of meetings today, actually. But you can see the Verizon applications don't come pre-installed, or aren't able to be uninstalled rather on this device. So you're kind of stuck with those. So if Let's Golf 2 is not your thing, it's unfortunate because you can't uninstall Let's Golf 2 or Madden NFL 12 and things like that. So in GoToMeeting, and if you don't want those things, tough, you're out of luck. You got to keep those on the actual device itself. But here are the notification bars, and you can see Twitter and the Verizon Wireless Network ID, and just to see the difference between Ice Cream Sandwich and Android 2.3.5. You got your AT&T stuff, your AT&T Network ID down there, and Verizon is up here. And you have a clear button, which would appear over here as well if you had any notifications on the Galaxy Nexus. But you can see the difference up top between the signal strength indicator bars and the clock. You can see that, of course, 3G, and this one rotates between 3G and H for HSPA plus, and of course alarms are set, and 4G LTE over here. So a lot of changes like that. So let's take a look at text messaging on both of these devices, and I'll go in here and take a look. Let's see, messaging, yeah, no, nothing on there. And then let me delete some of these conversations. I was using it as a test the other night just to see how well Verizon's network was working in a trouble spot. So you need to get rid of those personal messages. But you can see the interface differences here as well. I can go down here and hit new message, I can search, or I can hit these little 3 dots, which serves kind of like Windows Phone, serves as my kind of right click, if you will, where I can change settings and more. So I'll go in here, and we'll go down here and type a message. Now you get a 4.65-inch display over here, which is really awesome. So whether you're in portrait or in landscape mode, it's pretty easy to type on. That combined with the fact that the Android keyboard, they've really improved it in Ice Cream Sandwich. So, auto correction's fantastic. The Busy Rumor Dog is happy that it is Thursday. Busy Rumor Dog, or Busy Rumor Dig, apparently. And I'll come over here and change that. is happy that it's Thursday. Now you can see in landscape mode, and one thing I noticed about the Galaxy Nexus, at least the unlocked version, look how long it takes to transfer between portrait and landscape mode. Kind of weird, but you can see how the on-screen buttons migrate depending on what side of the screen you're on or what side you're working with, and you've got a nice big long landscape keyboard that you can take advantage of as well. So you get the Android keyboard out of the box with this one, ice cream sandwich keyboard, and then over here you get the gingerbread or the Motorola custom keyboard that you can see here. Now there's some changes over here as well. If you're coming from the DROID Bionic or some of the older Motorola devices, you'll notice that because this is a Super AMOLED display, it utilizes a lot of black and a lot of darker colors to conserve battery. So you can see the keyboard's dark now, a little bit darker gray on the side keys, but you still got that great Motorola multi-touch keyboard. You also get swipe out of the box, so if swipe's your thing, you can use that. But I absolutely love this keyboard. This is one of my favorite keyboards on the market. Motorola really does a good job with it. So the Busy Rumor Dog, what does he want to do on the DROID RAZR? The Busy Rumor Dog is thirsty for a cup of coffee. Busy Rumor Dog's thirsty for a cup of coffee, but you can see the transition effects much faster over on this device as opposed to the Galaxy Nexus, and you also get a nice little transition effect over here, which is not part of Android 2.3. It's actually part of Motorola's custom user interface. But still, nice big display over here. Landscape combined with the fact that it's a thin device makes it really, really easy to type on. So that's pretty cool there as well. But you know, if you're looking for typing, you're coming from a BlackBerry, you're coming from something with a physical QWERTY keyboard, and you're moving up and debating between one of these two, obviously the bigger display is over on the Galaxy Nexus. So at Landscape 4.65 is going to be a little bit bigger than Landscape 4.3. But I think you'll be happy with both on the keyboard front.